Welcome to the Nubian Spiritual Warriors Astrology Podcast.
My spiritual essence is Walamu Mudada. And this podcast is provided for those who are seeking wisdom on their journey from darkness into the light.
Kee2Star Constellations. Kee2Star Constellations is a family affair. As a family or an individual, learn the ancient science of astronomy, astrology, numerology, and sacred geometry. The lessons are basic and engaging for all ages. They are insightful and empowering. Kee2Star Constellations. Kee2Star Constellations. The language of astrology. Astrology does not compel, it impels, meaning it doesn't make you do anything, but it does encourage you. The planets are energetic consciousness that communicate cosmic vibrations. Within these vibrations is information for our pineal gland, first eye, to decode. Alchemy, the transmutation of vibrations into intelligent consciousness, or gold mine. The transmutation of the elements, base metals, into gold. So it's not a changing of material things into physical gold, but more of a spiritual gold, wisdom. The language of astrology requires that you learn planetary symbols. These symbols will assist in decoding information. The language of astrology requires that you learn astrological signs. These signs will also assist in decoding information. Those are two key components in the language of astrology. And you'll learn how to use or place those signs into an astrological chart. Now we want to take a look at the astrological wheel, because as you pay attention to this particular wheel, you'll see that in the first house, you have the planet Mars. And to the left of that planet is the symbol for Aries. Going down to the second house, you see Venus. or that's the symbol for the planet Venus. And next to that is the sign Taurus. Planetary symbols and astrological signs. Now, one of the exercises that will help you learn this language is to, one, place the correct planet in the correct house. So create a chart somewhat like this, and then place the correct planet in the correct house. Next, place the correct astrological sign in the correct house. Then you're doing, say, some basic exercises that will help you learn the language of astrology. Here's an example of what it should look like. Another tool to be used and to understand in astrology is the houses. The houses represent the area of activity. Notice, in the first house deals with the area of your life or domain in your life that relates to yourself, to your appearance, to your self-esteem, to your self-image, how you carry yourself. The second house deals with the domain of your life that deals with finances, possessions, values. Again, to increase your skills, you have completed a chart, something like this, where you have put the planet, the symbol of the planet in the correct house, the symbol of the sign in the correct house. Now, we want to take it a step further. Indicate what one area of life that each house addresses. And put one word that summarizes that house. So put in one word that will summarize that house. You don't have to have a large sentence or anything, just one word. Say, for example, the first house, I might just put in the word self. The second house, I may put in the word values. You find that one word that will trigger that information for you. Later, we will begin to take a closer look at the four elements of manifestation: fire, earth, air, and water. But presently, the exercises that is a good start. Putting the planets in an empty astrological chart, seeing if you can put the planets in the correct place. Putting the signs in an empty astrological chart, see if you can put that in the correct place, and then put in one word that represents the domain of each house. That's a good beginning. astrological patterns. Many times, when you look at the night sky, there are a variety of star patterns or constellations that provide immediate information. For example, certain constellations you will only see in the southern sky. Therefore, you know that you are facing or traveling south. This knowledge helped ancient sailors navigate the seas. Also, certain constellations were only seen during the summer or fall. This provided information about the seasons. Likewise, there are certain patterns in an astrological chart that provides information about character traits. So by recognizing the patterns or the astrological patterns, you can glean a lot of information without going in detail or deep analysis. So let's take a look at some. This pattern that you see, the lower right-hand corner, is called the splash. Peter Sellers, a famous actor of 1950 to 1970. Sellers was known for his incredible versatility and ability to completely transform into characters using different voices and accents. He played a triple role in Doctor Strangelove, in the movie Doctor Strangelove. He made history as the first actor nominated for a single Academy Award for playing 3 distinct characters in one film. His most famous role was the bumbling French detective inspector in the Pink Panther film series, a character that became an enduring classic in comedy history. Let's take a look at the splash. The planets are evenly scattered throughout the houses with 1 to 2 planets in each house. There are less than 4 empty houses. This person has a great deal of versatility and has a Gemini nature. The challenge is to focus this vast energy. Now, although the person may not be a Gemini, you can sense some Gemini energy when you see the splash. Eleanor Roosevelt, First Lady, 1933 to 1945. Eleanor Roosevelt was a First Lady who began holding press conferences specifically for women reporters. Now, that's heard of during that time period. That's unheard of. 1933 to 1945. You know, it wasn't too long from that time that women got the right to vote. She also carried a pistol for self-defense. She publicly opposed racial segregation by moving her chair to the center aisle during a segregated conference. That might be the reason she was carrying a pistol. I don't know. Might be. The bowl pattern. All the planets are within a 180-degree range of each other. Sometimes it is 190 degrees. It is a self-contained energy that is comfortable in the hemisphere that the planets are in. However, the individual will focus on the void areas of life that doesn't have any natal planets. Therefore, the individual has a certain sensitivity to the areas of life or people that may be lacking in some form or the other. So as you look at the bowl pattern to the lower right, you'll see that there's a hemisphere that is completely void of planets. This is where the individual may sense that they're missing something in life. This is the area that they might feel in life because they're completely comfortable with the right side of the hemisphere or the hemisphere where the planets are. But it's the hemisphere where there aren't any planets that the individual may have a sensitivity towards. U.S. President John Kennedy, 1961 to 1963. He was assassinated in office. That's one of the reasons why he had a short term. He was the youngest man ever elected president at age 43. He won a Pulitzer Prize for the book Profiles in Courage. It outlined 8 U.S. senators who risked their careers to stand up for their beliefs and principles. As president, he established the Peace Corps and supported the Civil Rights Movement. Now let's look at his pattern. It's considered a fan. All planets except for one is within 120 to 140 degree range of each other. Looking at the configuration to your right. The single planet or handle is at least 60 degrees from the other planets. It is also opposite of at least one planet in the group. So it's out there, seems like it's out there on its own. The planet or single planet, the handle or single planet is a source of support or nurturing for the individual. It is like a safety blanket and provides comfort. Similar to a fan's handle, it controls the action or energy or direction of the energy. So that's a very important planet. So if you see that fan pattern, you want to pay close attention to the handle. It has a lot of information. Marilyn Monroe, actor, 1950 to 1960. She was considered a sex symbol. She longed for respect in the industry rather than being seen as just a sex symbol. She was the second female head of a production company, the first being Mary Pickford. I believe Mary Pickford performed in silent movies. Marilyn Monroe helped Ella Fitzgerald book the Macabre Club by promising the nightclub owner that she would be in the front row every night to see her. Originally, the nightclub owner did not want Ella Fitzgerald to perform at the club. But knowing that Marilyn Monroe would be in the front row to see her perform, he agreed. The bucket pattern. The bucket is a pattern similar to a fan. The handle being one or two planets at least 30 degrees from the planets in the bowl and opposite a planet in the bowl. So if you take a look at the picture to your right, you'll see that this is similar to a fan. The energy is channeled through the handle of the bucket. Like the fan, the handle is not a point of support or nourishment. It is a focal point to release the energy. It is a focal point to release the expression of the energy as well. So in mind, what comes to mind is that you have like a teapot and something is boiling, and you got a teapot on the stove and it's boiling. And then before the pot gets too hot, or as the pot is getting too hot, then the steam comes out of the top of the pot. That's the ideal of the bucket. Take a look at Marilyn Monroe's chart, which is to the left, and President Kennedy's chart, which is to the right. You can see a lot of similarities. Marilyn Monroe was President Kennedy's secret lover. However, it was one of the worst kept secrets in the country. Notice, they both have a similar chart pattern. The majority of their planets are in the upper hemisphere, which indicates a public life and a certain emotional and psychological experience. This can attribute to their emotional and psychological ties to each other. The ability to identify chart patterns can reveal a host of information prior to a detailed analysis.
Assume the position. It may be with your feet flat on the floor and your spine erect. It may be in a yoga position. Whatever position you assume, your spine is erect. Now gently close your eyes, for you are going on an inner journey. And this inner journey begins with the breath. So as you inhale, earth energy comes up through the center of your feet, through the center of your body, to the top of your head. And on exhalation, it showers out the top of your head like a fountain, returning to the earth. Again, on inhalation, earth energy comes up through the center of your feet, through the center of your body to the top of your head. And on exhalation, this energy showers out the top of your head like a fountain.
Kee2Star Constellations. Kee2Star Constellations is a family affair. As a family or an individual, learn the ancient science of astronomy, astrology, numerology, and sacred geometry. The lessons are basic and engaging for all ages. They are insightful and empowering. Kee2Star Constellation.